said I'm insane, bitch, I cry a lot. Voices in my brain while I count it up.
What's going on, everyone? This is the Avant-Garage show. I'm your host, Powers, and today we have Devil Child and Shmaxwell on the show. How are you guys doing?
Doing all right.
Man,
I'm excited.
Yeah, excited to have you guys too. This is going to be a cool one because I haven't actually gotten to talk to you guys really before, so I know nothing about you. Whereas my other guests, I kind of already had an idea of what they were doing, but was just asking the questions just so they could get themselves out there too.
Yeah.
But before we get started, I just want to let the people know, please go ahead and donate to Avant-Garage Studios if you can. It's a small business I'm trying to start up, which really creates a whole workshop and live venue for local artists and underground artists to really thrive and connect and share their work. We also have merch available. It's going to be in the link below at Teespring. We have a few Avant-Garage hoodies, shirts, masks, and whatever you need. And all right, Devil Child and Shmaxwell, who are you?
Do you want to start with that one, Chris?
Yeah, I'll start with that one. All right. So we're both emo rappers. That's what we do. That's like our big thing. And I focus on mental health issues with my music. Basically, I write my music as a medicine for people. Like, they listen to my music to help them feel better, to get through shit. So basically what I do is I record my music and just kind of do everything for the people. Yeah, I'm 18, from the West Coast.
All right.
Yeah, just doing my thing.
I mean, it's just pretty much same deal with me. We obviously make very similar types of music because we work together all the time. So, I'm Shmaxwell. My actual name's just Max. Nobody calls me Shmaxwell unless they're like fucking with me. Yeah, I don't know. We make kind of the same type of music, and for me, it's kind of the same deal. Like I write stuff to get through my own shit, and I write stuff to like let people know out there that like maybe feeling the same shit that I'm feeling, like that they're not the only person that feels that way, and that like there's people out there that get it, even though sometimes you literally might feel like the only one that understands what's happening in your brain or doesn't understand what's happening in your brain,
Definitely.
From the West Coast, California, born and raised. 16 years old.
And 16 and 18. You guys are doing good for your age.
Thank you.
It's crazy. I mean, Chris, when did you start? You started like beginning of quarantine, right?
I started like February, yeah.
Okay, so you're fairly new into this then, too.
Yeah, I'm pretty new.
I found him. Oh, it's actually such a funny story how we
met.
met.
It's so weird.
So, because he lives in Washington and I live in California, so like, there's no way we would have actually met in person. And there was just like one day I was working on my album that I released like a while back, and I had one song that had an open verse on it, and I was like trying to get somebody to get on it, but like all the artists that I'd planned to get on it were either like working on their own solo shit so they couldn't get on it, or like the other dude was like sick so he couldn't record because his voice was all fucked up. And I was just like scrolling through TikTok, and then all of a sudden I see this like little video of like a screen recording of a SoundCloud song, and it's like playing, and I was like, yo, like this is like really good. This is really good. It was his song Up in Flames, which is still one of my favorite songs of his that he's ever made. And I liked it. I followed him, and I went into messages, and I was like, you need to hop on a song for my album. Like, didn't even say hi. It was just like, yo, like, do you want to be on a song on my album I'm releasing? And he like hit me back.
Straight to business.
Yeah, literally.
Back in like 5 minutes, he was like, yes, here's my email, send it to me. I sent it to him, and then like 3 days later we had the song finished. And it was just like, from sitting in my room scrolling on TikTok, all of a sudden I'd found this new artist that I'm now have more songs with than I have with any other artist,
Yeah, we fucking talk every single day, like hours a day, and work on shit together.
Like
that's awesome. Yeah, you really have to have that that unique connection to be able to produce good stuff. Like
Yeah.
I always tell people a lot, like in the band kind of scenes, like starting a band is so hard because everybody has different ideas and different
Yes.
schedules and shit. And like it's the same thing right here, but like you guys are making it work perfectly.
Yeah, we're
Like-
doing our best.
You know, when we made our first song, like I didn't know him that well. He didn't know me like at all. We didn't really like, it wasn't really like we were like talking about how we were gonna do it. I just sent him the song and I was like, yo, like just do what you do, like put a verse on
There
it.
was like zero interaction for that
Yeah,
whole
there was
song.
like literally no collab. And then he like finished it, and then that was like that was like it for a few weeks. And then he hit me up on Instagram one day and he was like, I got this song with an open verse, like I want you to hop on it. It's like very chill, like vibey.
Oh,
No,
take me
okay.
away.
I was like, bet. And then he like sent it to me. And it's on Chris's SoundCloud and like all those platforms. It's called Take Me Away. I swear to God, I listened to it like as soon as he sent it to me, and I had to take like 20 minutes before I responded to him because it was so fucking beautiful. Like I almost started crying when I heard it. And like 20 minutes later, I was like, bro, like holy shit. And it was like that was kind of the song where I was like we're gonna do some shit. Like this is gonna be big.
Yeah, the whole story with trying to get him on that song was really funny because at first I hit him and I was like, hey, I have an open, can you hop on? And he was like, I'm actually taking a break from music. And I was like, shit, okay.
Exhausted.
Yeah, and then I sent him that email and he literally called me and he was like, bro, I'm literally like about to cry to this fucking song right now. He's like,
It was
fuck
like
taking a break, like we're doing this.
Yeah, he was like, I was like, oh, I'm taking a break because I just finished my album, and it was like 15 songs or something crazy, like the most I've ever put onto one.
Yeah.
And it's exhausting, like putting together a project like that, solo too. Like it's just crazy, like coordinating everything. And
How do you fit your music work into your school schedule? Because you're still pretty young and you're doing all that, right?
School
How's
is,
Zoom learning?
you know, I turn off my camera and I plug in my headphones and I don't listen to my class and I just mix while I'm in class. You know, like me and school have a weird relationship, you know, like I used to be like a really good student, and then I don't know, like I kind of just like this, like it's not for me because I like really bad like attention span. Like I'm pretty sure I have ADD, but I've never been tested. But like I can't focus on something that I'm not like genuinely interested in, like with my entire like just like my entire like mind wants to be doing this. If it's not there, then like my brain's all over the place. Like I'm looking across the room, or I'm like tapping my leg on the ground, or I'm like singing a song in my head like while I'm trying to do like schoolwork. And I was just kind of like I'm not learning anything. And it feels like this just repetitive cycle of like busy work and just work to keep me busy, to memorize things and just regurgitate them onto a piece of paper. Like that's not learning. I'm not learning anything from that.
I know exactly how you feel, and like even going through college is kind of like the same for me. Like you're just doing it just for the degree, you know, just so you can get paid better later on. But
That's, you know, like I tried to talk to my parents about like dropping out of high school, but they were like, nope, like you're getting your diploma. And it's just like, I don't know, to me it's so insane that like there can be something that you have to do every day that makes you like so unhappy and just makes you feel like you're just in such a monotonous cycle, but you have to finish it because your life depends on that piece of paper that you get finishing it.
yeah, and I mean, like I'm personally an advocate for education, even though I find it very hard for myself.
Yeah.
But like one of my best friends is he's becoming a math professor right now. Like out of all subjects, he wants to teach math, and obviously that was like one of my worst subjects, and I would just talk to him about it, and he's he understands like how dumb the education system is, and he knows people like me that like don't really care about it or care to understand it, and he makes it really simple for some reason. But like I think we just need more like competent teachers.
Yes, exactly.
I got so much respect for teachers because that's such a difficult job. But like, just the way that the U.S. goes about like conducting our educational system, like it's not really, I don't think it's really beneficial to students. I think there can be very beneficial ways of learning, you know, like I think college is way more beneficial than high school. And I think trade schools are like extremely beneficial. Like when you go to a school to learn something specific that you want to do, that you're going to apply to the rest of your life because you want to make that your career. That's super useful. But like, you know, like why are we sitting in high school like memorizing the quadratic equation instead of, you know, getting financial advice that we can use for the rest of our life, or learning how to pay taxes or have a mortgage and, you know, use a credit card and like useful things that could save people from possible life-changing situations.
And I'm 24 and I'm still figuring that shit out.
Wouldn't you rather know like all of that shit instead of having all these abstract math formulas memorized?
Yeah, that's like some real like critical thinking on almost a genius level. Like if you're trying to
If you're a rocket,
come up with some idea that nobody's ever thought of
Yeah.
before, like that's when you need that.
Yeah, exactly.
like there's a place for everything in, you know, the world somewhere. But like, I don't know, I just think we should put more importance on certain things than others, you know.
Definitely. So what got you guys into starting to create your own music?
I think
Mac, do you want to start with that?
I think both of us have the same answer for that one.
Pretty much. I mean, for me, how I started was I used to be like a big metalhead, like way into metal. Like I hated rap. And then I was like, you know what? All these people like rap. Like I'm gonna try it. And then I was like, you know what? Lil Peep. Like let's start with Lil Peep. And so I put on Lil Peep, and I hated Lil Peep to begin with. And then I listened to him for like a week straight, just like trying to get myself to like understand it. And then like instantly fell in love with Lil Peep like after that week. And then I was like, you know what? Like I want to do this. I want to start making music. It started out of boredom. Like I was like, I'm gonna try to make this song. Like we're gonna do it. So I made my first song called Alien Boy, which was bad.
The bop though.
I made it private because I hated it so much. But yeah, I had Alien Boy, and then I just made another song called Puppet Master after that, which is also private now because once again, like, ugh. But yeah, I just started doing that, and then just like watching millions of YouTube videos on mixing and recording and doing all this stuff. I spent like 8 hours a day just watching YouTube videos on how to do that shit. But yeah, all that, and I started getting better. I think it was honestly like Up in Flames. My EP Up in Flames is probably where I blossomed the most because that's when I found my sound as a rapper, when I found where I want to be like in my musical mind. And then I started working with Max, and we got Take Me Away, and I got him on Up in Flames on 5 Degrees.
I
And
think
then
was a big turning point for both of us.
yeah, and then we started working on Halfway to Hell, which was, it's been a journey.
It has. It's quite a ride.
So you brought up finding your sound. I feel like that's a really important thing that newer artists need to listen to, because that's something that I struggle with to this day. And I mean, I know that I have my sound, but it's constantly evolving, and you have to understand that. But what do you think you could offer as advice for people that are kind of stuck in like, okay, this doesn't sound like me, but I need to keep trying and try to keep that motivation up, I guess?
So the first thing to do is find the goal for what you want to sound like. What I do is I have like mentor musicians, like musicians that I look up to. And it's like, okay, Lil Peep, I like how he layers his vocals. I love how he layers his vocals and makes them really wide. And then we have Ghostman. I like how he does his like trap metal screaming stuff. And then like Suicide Boys, I like their dark trappy rap. So I try to mix all of that together and then find how that would sound like somewhere deep in my mind and put that all together. And with the skills that you learn while learning how to mix, make that come to life. That is probably the best advice that I can give.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I mean, I don't know if I'd go as far as to say like I like have found my sound. Like I'm sad. This is what I'm gonna
It's
say.
a constant evolution.
Like
But
it's constantly changing, you know, and literally every single new song I make, I mix it in a slightly different way. But like, I don't know, my advice for like finding your sound is like literally try everything. Try everything you can.
literally
If you
everything.
do it. If you want to try mimicking something, mimic it. Because whether whether it sounds good or bad, you're learning new things about mixing and recording, and you're learning what works for you and what doesn't. So like, I mean, I have been all over the map when it comes to like my sound. Like I started, with like very small amount of layers, and what I started with is like fairly similar to what I do now, just on a smaller scale, and then my vocals were very quiet and you can barely hear me over the down to the beat. But then I moved into like, I got into I was trying to do more like Suicide Boys stuff, where it's like that like choppy, like deep vocal, like like the whole like super like low, like fast rapping. And then I tried like I got into this weird phase where I was listening to a lot of like indie and like just kind of like ambient music, and it was like I don't even know what it was. Like I just started doing this really weird thing where it was like Frank Ocean meets Mac Miller meets Tame Impala, and it was so not me, but I learned so much about mixing from that, like from all that stuff that I did. And a lot of the stuff I learned from that I still use to this day in my vocals, which I think sound the most like me than anything I've ever made.
Yeah, in the end, it's just all practice, almost like practicing for whatever like sport you might play or something. Like you have to know these
Yeah.
different techniques and just keep up the almost the muscle memory in a way.
Exactly.
I feel like that could be used for it, but yeah, it's just all practice. And
Yeah, I think it's very much like you gotta do it consistently when you find something you like, so you don't forget. And also just like trial and error. Literally try everything. Anything you want to try, just do it. Like whether you think it's going to sound good or bad, just try it, because you never know what you're going to pull from that the next time you make a song.
how do your friends and family support your music? Do they support it at all, or are you having trouble with that?
So my family is all metalheads. Like they support me as a musician, but they don't like my music. And then my friends like love my music. My friends like they're the reason that I get so many views on my music.
Yeah, I also have a very supportive group of friends. They all run my shit up even if they don't like it. Like they support me more than like it's less about supporting my music and more about supporting me, what I want to do. And I mean the same thing kind of goes with my family, but obviously for my family, it's harder for them to understand because I'm a 16-year-old kid, you know, making rap music, you know, and they're like, oh, he wants to drop out of high school and be a rapper and he's not going to go to college. So it's like, for them, they see all that and less like what I'm actually doing. So, you know, they're not unsupportive, but you know, they're not my number one fans, you know. Like,
Yeah.
it's especially hard for like my like grandparents to grasp what I want to do, like when I tell them. And it's also just difficult for my family because they listen to my music and they hear me talking about like all these mental health issues and like drug addiction and all these like really unfortunate things. And it's like they hear that and they're just like stop being sad. And I'm like, writing sad music is what does that. Like
Yeah.
you project your most intense emotions on into those lyrics so that you don't act on those emotions and thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. When I first started writing music, I was in more of an emotional state, and that's all I was writing about. And um, like I look up to my parents a lot, and I respect them a lot, and like I want to be able to like show them like this thing that I made, but like at the same time, I'm like, they might like freak out on me or something, you know. And uh,
Yeah.
it's
Um,
kind of hard, like it's kind of hard to really even show that to like anyone and like have them actually like it. Like,
yeah.
oh, you like my problems.
Yeah. It's definitely nerve-wracking showing new people your music, or like showing people, like even people that you like know and like care about, like showing them your music. It's like, yeah, I like don't want to die, but I'm really sad all the time. Like,
It's just, I don't know. I mean, for me, like it was really hard to post my like first real song because my first song, it's a whole story because I started making music because it was literally like I was like, uh,
Sharpie Fumes is a good song,
oh
Max.
God, we don't. Okay, so I was at my friend's house one day, and no, it was the summer before I was going into sophomore year, so I like just finished freshman year, and I was just at my friend's house for like a night, and he was like let's make a song because he's like a very music oriented person. He had like Logic Pro and a keyboard and a mic, and he had like all the equipment set up in his garage, and I was like, okay, like let's make a song. Like I'll write the lyrics and do the vocals. You can make the beat and like mix it and everything. And then I wrote the dumbest song ever called Sharpie Fumes. And it was literally just like the most like childish, angsty thing you could ever think of, where I'm like, oh, I'm 15 years old, but nobody lets me do shit. Like, oh, you know, just like be like total like, you know, whatever. And it was mostly just a joke. Like we were just doing it for fun. And then I like posted it and I was like, hey guys, like made a song, posting it on SoundCloud tonight, like go listen. And you know, like actually a bunch of people were like, yo, like this slaps, like you should like keep making music. And I was like, but it's so bad. Like 3 months later, I was like, okay, everybody liked Sharpie Fumes. Like, let's actually like give them something. Like, let's make something real.
Yeah,
And
people tend to gravitate towards the artists like most least liked stuff most of the time from what
Yeah.
I know. Like cuz that's how with me too, my most popular song is Out the Cage, and it's really not my favorite. Like I felt
literally,
like it was really cliche and just kind of just to get something out, and people loved it.
I mean, most of my like most pop, my biggest song on SoundCloud is my least favorite song I've ever made. Well, it's not my least favorite, but it's definitely not my favorite. I think I have way better songs than that one.
Is that Alice in Wonderland?
Yeah.
I
I have
love that
a song.
song.
I have a song. It's like terribly recorded, terribly mixed, but it has the trippiest beat and the trippiest lyrics I've ever written. And it's chilling at like 50K. And I'm like, how? How? Like this sounds like actual ass. Like it's such a bad song. But like, I don't know. Like it's, you know, it's got 50K, so obviously people like it. But like, I mean, back to what I was saying before, like I just came back like 3 months later and I was like, okay, like let's make like a real song. And that's the one that I made 3 months later. It's kind of what I consider like my first song. And I mean, when you're talking about like it's hard to share like your first song with people, you know, because it's like you're like all of your problems, you're writing them into lyrics and making a song about it. That's like really hard to show people like for the first time if you've never done that before. Because Sharpie Fever was easy. That shit was just funny. Like it was just a joke. I was like, oh, look at my stupid song I made. Like it's so funny. And then I wrote my first song is called Coming Home This Time. It's literally about like a crippling addiction to Xanax and not knowing every time you take Xanax if you're going to die that night or not, if you're going to wake up the next morning. And it's like this story that plays out throughout the whole song. And the last part of the song, it like ends in the character in the song's like overdose and death ultimately. And like we made this and it was like all of a sudden I had just gone from making some funny little joke song to some of the realest art I've ever created. And I was like, I literally sat for like 30 minutes with my friend, like with the mouse hovering over like the post button. Cause I just couldn't press it. I was like, you got to click it for me, dude. And he ended up just like reaching over and like clicking it after like 30 minutes or something. Cause he was just like, we're not doing this anymore. And that song, like it took off. Like my first like real song that I consider, you know, it's got like 21,000 listens now and almost 10,000 on Spotify. Like it's just crazy. But that song it's got a special place in my heart. Like I'm happy that one did well because it's a very real song.
So when you guys are writing your lyrics, do you have like a specific like what's the word? Do you have like a specific flow with how you do things, or is it changing all the time? Do you just take notes down, or you sit down and just plan out a whole song right there?
So what I do is I'll like find a beat that I like and then literally just sit down for like, because when I write a song, it never takes me very long, usually like 10 to 20 minutes. So like I'll sit down and write a song, literally just like open up Google Docs and write a song. And just play it over and over again and freestyle to the beat and see what I like and then write it down and do that until I have something.
For me, it's very like I never fucking know, you know, like I'll literally be like seconds away from falling asleep and then like a line will pop into my head and I'll just get up and write it. For me, I have a book and my notes in my phone. These are all lyrics. Like every single one of these, like
Holy shit.
so many, like insane amount. And you know, like sometimes I'll write a song in like 5 or 10 minutes, and sometimes it'll take me like 2 hours, and sometimes I'll be writing a song over the course of like 3 days. I just never know, you know. It's kind of just like something comes to me and I write it down. But like a lot of the times I'll have like a melody that I can fit a flow to, and I'll have the flow before I have the lyrics. And sometimes I'll just like be sitting there and I'll just like play the chorus on a loop or the verse on a loop, and I'll just start freestyling till I get like lines that I like, and I'll write them all down and then I'll record them.
All right. Do you guys have any show experience?
I used to be in a punk band, so with that, I used to play shows in Seattle with them, but solo experience, I have absolutely none.
I have never played a show. I mean, I've been in like school productions and like performed and shit like that, but never performed music. But I can't wait. Like I always wanted to. It's like a dream, you know, just like standing on a stage, being able to like sing my music.
Yeah. Me and him manifest this shit all the time.
How was playing in that punk band? What was the experience you got from that?
It was so fun. So I was the drummer for the band, but we like switched around sometimes. So there were a couple songs that I'd sing. But like we were like a really like heavy punk. So it was like kind of like punk post-hardcore. So you'd have like people like moshing and shit, and you're like, yeah, my music's good. Like this is awesome. And like there's being a drummer, there's not a day that you like don't almost break a finger playing drums. So I'd like come off stage and my fingers would be all fucked. It was awesome though.
All right. Let's see. What makes you guys who you are? Why do you stand out? Why should people listen to you?
That's such a good question. You know,
Hard question too.
it is
Yeah.
a tricky one because it's like, why should people listen to my music? Like, I don't know, man. You know, my music helps me. You know, it helps me get through whatever I got going on in here, and you know, like I don't try to make music for other people. You know, I don't try to make music that I think, you know, like I'm gonna make this, you know, so that it blows up. You know, like I just make shit, and you know, if you wanna listen to it, you know, because oh my god, I think I just said, you know, like 10 times. Also, ADD. If you want to listen to it, listen to it. I mean, if you fuck with melodic rap, if you fuck with, you know, and I don't really know where I'm going with this. My brain is going all over the place right now. Yeah, Chris.
Yeah, I got you. So for me, like I take this, I think I take it to a way deeper level. So like if you go on like just like listening to the music that's hot today, half of it has like, I don't want to say no meaning because they all have meaning, but like no deeper meaning. It's just like, yeah, let's do drugs and fuck and do stupid shit. And like, I don't know. That's what everybody wants. And I don't feel like I want to be what everybody wants. I want to be me. I want to talk about my problems. I want to help people through their problems. And there's a lot of people like me out there, a lot of people with problems that need that escape. And so with my music, why I think people should listen to me, I think it's that I talk about like real, not world problems, because I don't really like to get like political or anything. I think, yeah, I'm not really political, but like mental and personal issues are like a big thing that I think everybody struggles with. Like there's something for everybody in that spectrum. And I feel like I bring to the table a way to help that. I don't really know how to word that, but yeah.
I was trying to say like exactly that, but it's such a hard thing to like articulate into words. Like, why should you listen to my music? I don't know, but if you listen to my music and it gives you a positive feeling, or it helps you make you feel better, or lets you know that you're not the only person in the world that feels a specific way, like, then you should listen to my music, because that's why it's there. It's there to help you. It's there to help me. It's there. It's a coping mechanism. It's a, you know, it's a career, but it's mostly, I'm just trying to help kids like me that, you know, never really felt like they had a place, you know, never knew who they were and where they were. Like, if my music can help one person's day be a little bit better, like that's all I need. Like, I can live with that. Like, I'm happy with that. I can be content with that.
Yeah, and I can tell you guys just from this short time getting to know you that I already like want to listen to your music more just because
Oh, right.
I've gotten to know who you are, and that's really what I hope for everybody that's listening and watching this too, is that they get to know who you guys are, and hopefully they enjoy your stories and they want to see what you got. And that's kind of like one of the main reasons I want to do this podcast, is because I really get into music once I learn about the people behind it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely same thing. I mean, when I hear music that I relate to, I'm suddenly like, I want to know everything about this artist. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
want to get to know them as a person, and I want to get to know their music. Like, so, if whoever's watching this or listening to this, if you fuck with me and Chris, you should listen to our music because you'll probably fuck with our music too.
Yeah, we actually have a project coming out together on the 31st. I actually just got an email from our distributor saying it's on time.
Good.
So,
All right,
yeah,
good news.
That's
December
good.
31st, me and Max have Halfway to Hell coming out on all platforms.
It is.
And
All
it's
right.
it's
It's
fucking
right.
revolutionary.
It's a
This is
project.
this is like nothing that me and him have done before. This is completely new shit.
It went crazy. Like
Yeah.
I learned
We
a
went
lot.
all out on this.
Excited to hear it.
Awesome.
There's some of my favorite work I've ever done and Chris has ever done is on that thing. You know, like
Gonna come into the new year nice and strong.
Oh yeah.
dropping on New Year's Eve.
What are your guys' goals for 2021?
Oh, world tour. I'm not even gonna lowball it. World tour.
Hey man, you gotta go for big as soon as you
Yeah.
can.
One of my goals was world tour by 2022, but hey, fuck it, 2021 world tour. We're coming for you.
All
Yeah,
right.
cool.
I mean, I honestly haven't given my goals for next year a lot of thought, but I've been meaning to like write some shit down. But for next year, I have a lot of my like my plans, like my projects and shit that's coming up next year. So I have a lot of stuff coming next year. Is going to be a big year for my music because I mean I started in November of 2019, so this year was kind of the first full year that I had with my music, and it was like it was kind of crazy the growth I saw from the start of quarantine to now. And it this year was kind of like my trial year because I saw, you know, I had released 2 songs in 2019 and like they did pretty well. And then I was like, okay, so this year, like, let's see if this could actually be like a viable thing. Like, if those are just one hit wonders or if like people are actually listening to my stuff and think I have something to say. And then this year, it just progressively has kept growing. So next year is like my year. I'm like, I'm going full out, you know, like fuck school, music time.
Yeah, right. I mean, I'm graduating this year, so I'm completely set. But yeah,
I'm a junior. I got a year and a half left, and senior year I'm literally gonna have 2 classes. So
hell yeah.
big things coming from here on out.
So definitely more Devil Child Shmaxwell stuff.
Yeah. I'm willing to bet Halfway to Hell Part 2 by the end of 2021.
Oh,
all right. Got to release
Probably.
it for the anniversary of it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That's
Yeah.
actually a great idea. We never even thought about that.
Like, I'm gonna write this down right now.
I'm actually writing it down.
All right, guys. Devil Child, Shmaxwell, thank you for coming on the show. It was awesome getting to talk
Yeah.
to you guys.
Thank you for having us.
I'm excited to listen to your new stuff. Hopefully, everyone else is too. You guys got anything to say before we close out? Anything you want to promote?
Oh, okay. Chris, you want to go first?
Honestly, I don't know. Fucking 333 is all I gotta say, I guess. That's it.
3. Yeah. Listen to Chris's music. Devil
Yeah,
Child,
listen to Max. Listen to both of us.
Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Music, everything. It's Devil Child with a 3 instead of an E.
Yep, same with Max everywhere.
And then, yeah, just Shmaxwell on every platform. give us a listen if you enjoyed this conversation. Halfway to Hell, drop in December 31st.
Yep.
Donate to the podcast, buy their merch. This is fucking awesome.
Yeah, do everything for this guy. He's awesome.
Shit like this is everything for the underground music community. Like opportunities like this can like make such a difference. You know, it can expose you.
This is the reason that underground hip hop is like booming so hard, because we have people promoting us everywhere and doing everything to help us out.
Like for real, like thank you for having us on this. Like,
thank you so much.
Like
Just
really,
glad you guys were on. Thank you for coming. All right, guys, Avant-Garage show. Again, please donate if you can. Cop some merch. Check these guys' channels out. I'm going to put some links in the description so you can go straight to it. And have a nice day.
Love all of you. Peace.
Hello, we're Code Band and about to scam you out of 3 minutes of your miserable fucking existence.